April the 30th, 2017, Vitebsk, Belarus. In this video I will be discussing a little bit more than just another, let's say, so-called opposition protest against, this time against Vladimir Putin. In fact, I am going to go into my personal dilemmas for which I deem I had a very, very wrong stance. Stance that I did change about a year ago, thanks to crazy train known as John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Obama, and so on. I am referring in particular to a situation that John McCain triggered together with Lindsey when the two basically went after Putin, Vladimir Putin, the only politician, not only in the east of the Europe, but I would say worldwide, that actually have expressed concern for American people, for the future of American people, have publicly supported Donald Trump, and was a result lynched by so-called mainstream media, Rothschild News, threatened for his, what they claimed was involvement, meddling in US elections, threatened by Angela Merkel, just for expressing his public views, like every one of us has the right to express. Okay? So if Angela Merkel expresses them, or I don't know, Pope in Vatican, Pope Francis, to make myself clear, it's all fine. But, and for that matter, any other corrupt politician in western part of the Europe to whom we witness daily. But if it's a politician that disagrees with this Zionist genocide against white people, his views are not tolerated. That much about the tolerance, okay? In fact, the whole country is then threatened with possibility of World War III insanity, and that's what really John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and Obama, and unfortunately these days even Donald Trump, who have done absolutely nothing since becoming US president to improve, I would say, international relationships between Russia and United States. In fact, he screwed me badly, and I was one of his biggest supporters, no doubt about that. And I'm sure you know about my case. And so it's about a year since I jumped on that crazy train. I was compelled into that insane train by Slovenia, by Slovenian state. It's where I grew up, was beaten up until age 16, have faced severe violence even in the army service, conditioned with either seek the opportunity elsewhere, abroad, across the sea, or stay simply unemployed over there in Slovenia. And Slovenia continued to meddle, ruin my life, even after I immigrated to the US. It's basically abuse, unheard, and in the heart of the Europe that concerns more than anybody countries with whom Slovenia claims to have a special bond. And I'm referring to the Slavic countries who, in my opinion, should really look into this case, because a country like this, a tiny little shit with 2 million people, have managed to accomplish, I'm referring to the Slovenian politicians, lots of problems in this world for the countries such as Russia, Belarus, Poland, Hungary, and other Eastern European countries. You know, that type of approach, that type of way of thinking that stuff like this can be done to an individual without any repentance, without any assuming any responsibility for it, is just totally wrong. And it's something that brought me in hands of Zionists in the United States of America, who have managed, specifically in John McCain's hands, because John McCain did met me. Okay, John McCain knows me very well. I have talked about these things already on my news site, in my videos and so on, who truly know how to use and abuse this kind of situations to turn them into their profit. You know, with my views, with my hatred that I have developed, not only against Slovenia for what was done to me in Slovenia, but have turned against all Slavic countries out there. Because my belief was that, you know, I started to develop belief that Slovenia is just a network of other Slavic countries that have either hate for German people, for Western society. And this is what I'm trying to say, is that it's very important, it will be very important for these countries, if we are to integrate into a better society in cooperation with one another, West, East, to better our future, to get rid of danger, nuclear war threat, to look into this kind of situation and, you know, take a stand that something like this should never ever repeat again. It's very bad, and I think that Zionists have found in Europe one and only country that actually really was a firm ground for them, was not gonna say nest, but the place where they got a very strong ally and they could not find one anywhere else, not in Russia, not in any other Eastern European country, but in Slovenia. I think that's very dangerous. That type of thinking is very dangerous in the heart of Europe, in the age when we should be thinking how we are going to integrate with one another for the sake of the future of our children, of our progeny. I think that type of thinking, the Slovenian type of thinking, not talking about the people, but I am talking specifically about the Slovenian politicians. I am talking about specifically about politics, you know, the pro-Yugoslav, what used to be this pro-Yugoslav politics that was based on forced integration, truly on violence against population in other republics for the sake of big Serbia. That's the type of thinking is very dangerous. That's the type of thinking that actually have developed in war in Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and so on. And it's the type of thinking that definitely should be stopped, and it should be stopped by countries that I have suggested Slovenia feels have special bond with, or through Slovenia does not have special bond with these countries, as you are about to see. This countries, Russia, Belarus, Poland, and so on, actually have a very different stance and desire very different outcome, very different future with West than crazy Slovenia does. I'm just gonna put it this way. I think it's really time to look into these matters so something like this would not repeat anymore. I am willing to move on with my personal case. I am totally willing to move on. I have learned so much within the last year about the Eastern Europe, about how truly politics work. Just yesterday I have spoken to some Russian patriots, and you know, I would apologize. Look, I would say, listen, and I did apologize. You know, I said sorry, you know, for my stance, for my views, the way I saw this whole thing. And I was basically told, no, there's no need to apologize, because actually you were right. Because this is how things are. I mean, this is how, what things that you have seen, that you have gone through, and you did not, I really did not lie. I did not take some stance based on that I would favor somebody based on financial or some other profits or something like that. I just took the stand based on my beliefs, based on what I have read, what I have gone through, what I have seen was taking place. But like I said, there is much I did not know. I bet there is more I don't know about, and I am truly looking forward to learn more about this part of the world. And this video probably will quite shock many of you, because especially if you were my followers, you will see that I am taking completely different stand in respect to Russia, in respect to Putin. I have mentioned him in my video, I think it was 104, nuclear news, can still be seen on Daily Motions. Putin. The thing is that I was so pissed off, I was so mad, I was so enraged that whoever got involved in my case, whoever got involved in this overseas abductions and crap, I have attacked. I did not believe that whoever got involved in this was out there to benefit me. Okay? And so I attacked Putin, and I did attack one based on this Slovenian crap, these criminals that would go out there in the world, in Miami, and would lie to American counterparts, they would lie to the Russian counterparts, they would lie, misrepresented to Hungarians about me, to everybody. Okay, they created about me some sort of image together with Zionists, that public image that was totally confrontational with reality, that was totally opposite from reality, and have created inside of me the ideas that were wrong, that were completely wrong. So well, this is the video that's I will be talking to you about more about this so-called opposition. I'm going to give you a little bit about idea, what more about what this opposition, so-called opposition is. I deem that Putin is a patriot. I deem that Putin is a very good man. I think that Putin have expressed lots of common sense, cannot be compared to any Western politician. I don't know any Western politician that, of course, other than, I would say, you know, right-wing, like Nick Griffin or something like this, maybe Marine Le Pen, I don't know, I got to see that a little bit more. She's got to prove herself a little bit more and stuff. But, like, politician that is on power, I don't think you can match any of that. Okay, Putin, all he wanted, in his own words, and I remember this very well, like it would be right here in front of me right now, was for the West to accept people from the East, Russian people and other people, as equal. And I don't think I can blame them for this, him for this. That's pretty much what I want. That's exactly what I want. I want integration. I want us to be together, to work together for one another and not against one another. So I was wrong. I was dead wrong about this, about Putin. But I got to say, I was wrong because of this Slovenian politics, because of this Slovenian hatred, because of this Slovenian way. Tiny little country in the next to Austria, Italy, Hungary, Croatia in the south, that would not even recognize German minority in Slovenia, that Slovenia was part of German nations for over 1500 years, and we literally border with Austria. Would not recognize, would not give that recognition to German minority. And for the integration, for our integration, it will be totally crucial for every white country to recognize minority status of other white countries. It will be totally of crucial essence if we are truly to integrate, if we are truly to succeed with this legacy, survival legacy for our nations. It will be totally crucial for everybody to be protected in every country, regardless of where you are from. As long as you are in another white country, that's what I believe. I see our future as, you know. So, you know, these are kind of things that more than United States, which never will anyhow, or France or Germany can do nothing anyhow, but Italy, Spain, whatever country out there, Russia, Belarus, Poland, Czech, Slovakia, Ukraine will have to look into it, because these are the things that matter you, these are the things that are related to you, and these are the things you do not want to have on the resume. Okay? You don't want to have this kind of racism, this kind of discrimination and hatred on your resume. I'm just gonna put it this way. Regarding this opposition, I think I already have discussed well about this so-called opposition in my other video. I mean, I couldn't be more explicit about it. I have explained in details that this opposition, so-called opposition, is nothing more than criminal, extended criminal network of United States of America. And I don't like to say United States of America because this is my homeland. I am American, and so I will void that, I will remove that word United States of America, but will use and say instead Zionist controlled, by Zionists controlled United States of America. Okay, that's basically where Israel gets his, truly his power, even not only across America, but entire European Union. Alright, yeah, you do hear some noise, this and that, because I am not alone here, but that's fine too. If you want to learn about what is happening in eastern part of the Europe, if you really want, if you care about learning about so-called opposition, okay, then you just gotta go and you gotta look into my video, and this is the truth of Eastern European opposition. Here's the video that is titled, and more or less in this video this is a little bit more about this so-called opposition. Okay, Okay, now, and so if I go back to the main news that gives us the opportunity to learn more about the so-called opposition, either in Belarus or in Russia. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna use today's news. Today's news: Central Intelligence Agency, okay, United States of America, by Zionists run United States of America's Central Intelligence Agency, have created a new coordinated attack on Russia, in particular President Vladimir Putin. Yeah, and I'm going to give you exactly how this was done and so on. So I'm going to look into the background, and I'm going to really point you out how Central Intelligence Agency operates, okay, how they do their things, how they crack countries, in addition to the video that I already have posted and have pointed you out, okay. Today, again, April the 30th, 2017, you can see, maybe the 19th even, you can see here the news, again, protest against Vladimir Putin, and by Rothschild ran mainstream media. Now, the Rothschild controls almost 100% of the mainstream media on West. He either owns it or controls it. He definitely owns. Just look into my site and you will see how it's all split to different divisions, different branches, starting with Associated Press and Reuters, which he 100% owns. Okay, it's basically they repeat the news, they copy and paste the news from one another, and they redistribute to brainwash the population on issues the way
February 2003, Vladimir Putin had been president for about 3 years. He was nearing the end of his first.
The world to see them as, okay? And so today, the news, you can see here different forms of news, but really the main news, the way it was redistributed, forget about this here, dozens arrests, this and that, but this here, this is what matters, urging Vladimir Putin to step down. Okay, they demand resignation of Vladimir Putin ahead of 2018 elections and so on, and And it's really interesting. It's really interesting to immediately jump on exactly what this video here started on its own, anyhow. Let's go right here to the mainstream media, US mainstream media, which simultaneously, okay, simultaneously with the protest, would broadcast, would start to brainwash American population with the shows like, they would not even cover the news, like you would go and cover the news, then you would invite representatives or particular party or politicians or political figures, whatever, to have discussion with them on news or something like that. No, 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 no. They would go, they would simultaneously broadcast, views of this tiny, totally non-essential political party that I don't even know if they have 100,000 supporters within Russia. I don't even know how many they have, okay? The point here is Russia is 140 million people. Here we are talking about, what are we talking about here? Maybe 100,000 people, 100,000 people or something like this. Totally non-essential party. However, multiplied, magnified through the Rothschilds' own mainstream media, even like exactly what you see here, Vladimir Murza, vice chairman of Open Russia. Open Russia is owned by Mikhail Khodorkovsky, okay, so-called pro-Russian movement, would simultaneously already have a show in United States of America with Rachel Maddow.
They decided to summon
That's pretty
a bunch
crazy,
of Russia's richest men,
yeah,
oligarchs. decided to summon them all to his company. File opposition.
Okay, so anyhow, you can go ahead and you can research that MSNBC, owned by Rothschilds, is already performing here the brainwashing talks live to Vladimir Karza on Rachel Maddow's show. Okay, so this is very coordinated attack. It's supported by so-called free press. Okay, let's use that 73 years old diarrhea news on the West. Let's refer to one as a free press, because it does not get any more controversial than that. So let's give them some more controversy, okay? Free press, mainstream media, and of course international financiers, Rothschild, bankers, companies, corporations, and so on, that really magnify even such a little tiny political party into enormous dissidence force, enormous crack that can appear if people would be only stupid enough to settle for all these lies from Central Intelligence Agency. Let's just put it that way. Okay, coordinated attack, de facto coordinated attack. Now let's go and let's learn a little bit more about so-called open Russia that is trying to take down whatever the hell is left from Russia, owned by Khodorkovsky, Mikhail Khodorkovsky. And we'll point you out issues. Basically, I already did in previous video. You will be able to see what they stand for through this, and so you can see right here. It's a classic. I mean, it's a Western Zionist classic on how to divide and conquer. You know, eat the country from in and out with the help from the outside, basically. Open Russia, no borders, fantastic. And within the European Union, you don't even know when you're going to end up in the trunk if they don't like you, and wake up maybe in Israel. Open Russia, I'm going to talk to you more about these issues. Open politics, yeah, that is fantastic. Open media, human rights issues, you already know what those are. That's the human rights for those that are going to come in your country, for the non-whites, and the genocide for you. And then you can even enroll here in club or whatever, and they'll give you the free institute, they'll give you a lesson. You're going to graduate, you're going to become very, very smart after you graduate from this school. Okay, so you're going to gain new knowledge, you're going to become cosmopolitan, and you will be able to participate in new circles, new world then. Rockefellers, Rothschilds, you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars, not to mention US government, huge international corporations that govern the world, not only Western Europe, US and so on, but world. And this is the money, this is what we are talking about. It might be small because it's not popular over there in Russia, but this is not opposition. Truly, this is not opposition under any circumstances. Believe me, what I'm talking about. This is a criminal network, classic school of dissidents, of basically how to destroy a certain country, create crack in that country, and then just widen that country through corruption and other ways. I have seen here some policies about discussion, about the open discussion, this and that, and the truth is that there are things you don't even want to discuss about, because you don't want to discuss within society things that are abnormal, things that are not acceptable, Because you confuse society. You give the opportunity to somebody that is trying to, and you already know who I'm talking about, take down the society by discussing things that should never ever be discussed. Well, for most of the Russian people, this political party, this option, political option, is not viable. They reject one. It's not acceptable. They do not want one. But in the crowd, you're always gonna find some people, somebody that might take even the side that is totally really unacceptable, that is totally crazy, and that's exactly what this criminal network is trying to do. Here, they'll give you the university on what, I don't even know. Brainwash people through you know, through force, criminal ways. This, what you see here, is what I have managed to gather about this individual, about this Khodorovsky. Okay, he is a Jewish man, and you can see here. I cite the sources, which I'm going to show you in just a little bit. You can see that I have taken this news even from Israeli newspaper, from Times of Israel, from Jerusalem Post, and so on. So I'd not even go into some kind of alternative news stream media that would give me alternative view to what you know, are pretty much are facts concerning this individual. In '98, this man was involved in killing mayor, Siberian mayor, okay, and stuff that I have neglected, you know, stuff that I have rejected, you know, stuff that I have ignored because of the previous issues that I have stated, is what you can see right here, okay. You can see Russian people here. This is older folk. In '98, you can see them in '98. They already protest. In '98, they protest Boris Nemtsov. That was individual that West have claimed about 2 years ago was killed by Putin. I truly disbelieve these things, because what you are about to see next is actually quite impressive. Talks a lot for the sake of Putin, and it talks pages and pages against Central Intelligence Agency. You know, if I wouldn't be in the situation I am very today, and believe me, I did not even discuss yet what exactly I have gone through since February the 14th in 2017. Today is April the 30th, 2017. I did not discuss this because I don't want to be accused of some health-related issues, okay? They literally are blackmailing me. They would not allow me to express what I have gone through, what my situation was or is, because they are just waiting for me to say anything so they could drag, so they could bring up, you know, health-related, mental health-related issues. I did not even spoke about this. I will spoke about that. As of today, I am not even allowed to say truly what the situation was, and so on. But yeah, here you can see '98 protest against Boris Nemtsov, for whom, by the way, I stood up. I really stood up, and I stood up for him because of the Ukraine. I no longer do. I totally distance myself from just another criminal, Zionist criminal, another dissident, another individual trying to widen, crack in what truly is democracy. And I already have explained to you how I see the democracy and freedom. You know, if democracy is not freedom, then I don't know what democracy is. And I told you, I'm going to repeat to you, that democracy, the freedom is when you come home and you see your beautiful wife and you see your beautiful child. For most of the normal people, 99.9%, this is what the real democracy is. Okay, now there are other people out there that have issues related to other issues, freedom issues related to other issues, but for the most part, for at least 99% of the people worldwide, anywhere, this is what the real freedom is. Okay, so you can see here they protest. If you get translated this thing already in 98, right in this town here, Pereslavy Zelaski, you see, they protest Zionism, they protest Nemtsev in particular. And this is not too far from Moscow, it's toward Ural. In 98, I was a baby. In 98, I didn't know anything about the world. I was 23 years old when I immigrated to the States. That was in 95. That means in 98, I was about 26 years old. I was as naive as it gets. I didn't know anything about anything but Russian people. All the generations, they remember. They know what Zionism is. They know what Zionism have brought to the Russia, how millions of Russians have perished. Who made them perish? They know what Zionists have done, and they remember these things. Let's just put it this way. And Nemtsev truly was one of them. Nemtsev was insignificant. Let's see, Nemtsev was insignificant just as Khodorkovsky was. Well, I should say Khodorkovsky was not as insignificant, or I should say Khodorkovsky is not as insignificant as Nemtsev was. So I do not see how really Putin would have done something like this to Nemtsev, but I definitely can relate my own situation. To Central Intelligence Agency. There is undisputed facts that are pointing out that I was subjected, when applying for political asylums across the eastern part of Europe, to Central Intelligence Agency, to degree totally unheard of. Still cannot say what exactly have happened. I already have explained why. Definitely believe today, 100% I am sure, that Boris Nemtsev, this man right here, for whom I have claimed actually that Putin was involved in his death, I am 100% certain that it was Central Intelligence Agency who did this to him, because they want the news get going. They try to create pressure on Putin, they try to create pressure against Russia, involve all kinds of human rights. They feel that at a certain time, at a certain point, elections and so on, you know, news changes, news adjusts to certain type of environments. You know, you have to watch the climate, you know, what is going on. You have to see bigger picture. You have to see whether you have elections going. You have to see what the situation is, what is the climate, what really is happening, to understand this kind of news, why this kind of news is released at a certain time and so on. This is exactly how United States government operates. I just say, by Zionists ruled US government. So this man here, in my personal opinion, was executed by Central Intelligence Agency, extended hand opposition in Russia. Russia today is subjected to Central Intelligence Agency's curtain. I don't know how much you remember term Iron Curtain, Soviet Iron Curtain. Well, today Soviet Iron Curtain was replaced by American Central Intelligence Iron Curtain. They are the one killing people. They are the one persecuting white American people across the Europe, if those only dare to speak out against this Zionist, merciless, murderous machinery in Europe. So this individual here that I have claimed, the stuff that I have claimed, I take all my words back. One day, I hope soon, I will be able to talk to you about the stuff, other stuff that was done to me when claiming human rights throughout the Eastern Europe. So, one of the things, okay? If I go back to this issue, God bless these Russian people here, these older folks, they know, they remember. Go back to this individual, this Khodorkovsky. He is a Jewish mobster, mafioso, gangster. Okay, in '98, killing of Siberian mayor, convicted of tax evasion, sentenced to 9 years in prison in 2005, 2011. Khodorkovsky convicted again. Charges stealing the oil. You see, this kind of charges that I have mentioned here, the type of charges that one can actually only dispute if one has the proofs that can be used to dispute such claims. But this individual that at one point have had $15 billion, okay, his fortune was estimated to $15 billion. Folks, this is a lot of money. Let me tell you, $15 billion is a lot of money. A lot of money is that. Okay? This individual could not prove his innocence. I mean, he did not have the paperwork, and he did not have anything that could prove his innocence at the Russian court of law. Okay, so naturally the dude was sent into prison, and you can see here that Putin came to his help. I mean, Putin, you can see here the news in 2013, he goes and he pardons this Mikhail Khodorkovsky that many have suggested should actually be even executed, and I quite agree with that option. You can see here from different, that might have been the same source, I don't know. But of course, there are newspapers that, and you can see here, American newspapers that, you know, they fabricated their own, even the thief like this, even the criminal like this, so-called opposition, you know, they will go and they will defend blindly, you know, this type of corruption attitude. And this is basically the stuff that I have missed, that I have deliberately not want to mention. Okay, Putin actually really did a lot to crash this so-called oligarchs, to end this corruption. So I think if it was not for Putin, I think today there wouldn't be no Russia, and there would not, obviously, Belarus would not exist. It'd probably just be another shithole located within European Union, where one could not say absolutely anything. You can watch this movie and you can learn about the Putin, his accomplishments in destroying, let's say, pro-Western network of criminals on the territory of Russia. Some more news, and you can see that I did not discriminate, I don't lie. This is from Jerusalem Post, and you can see this one is from Times of Israel. This is where the sources are. This is where I got my news. Okay, I did not lie. This is the stuff you may want to read about this man, if you want to learn about him, who he really is. Today, this dude, this criminal that should be, if not executed, he should have spent the rest of his life, miserable life in the jail, is how I see it. He's still worth $500 million. And guess what? He is not happy about. He's not even happy about his $500 million. He goes on blindly is thinking, believing how he will actually, you see this here, $500 million 2015. I mean, how he actually will manage to destroy that last barrier, that last place of real democracy, Russian state. Crazy enough to believe that, I don't know, that he's going to convince Russian people to do what? I mean, to embrace the suicide for the sake of the Zionist mafia that have conquered the United States and is killing American citizens, white American citizens, on the territory of the European Union. I mean, give me a break. I mean, of course, he did found his refuge. You can always find one if you're part of that mafia on the territory of the Germany. That's the country that have totally lost sovereignty since the World War II. The country whose presidents are either approved or are disapproved through the Israel, literally through the Israel. And so this is the news that I was going to talk about, a little bit more about this so-called opposition, about how things are. Yeah, you may want to go read, and you may want to, you know, thousands of them came out, okay, thousands. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because mainstream media have made one look like a big deal. In reality, it's a pigeon shit is what this news really is. But I just want you to see how, you know, how all this is coordinated, how they work. And that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking more about this human rights.
Vladimir Putin had been president for about 3 years. He was nearing the end of his first term, and he decided to summon a bunch of Russia's richest men.
I don't actually know what the world would even look like today without Vladimir Putin. It would not look good, I guarantee you that. Okay, they got arrested. Well, that's a good deed. I don't know what else to say. I hope you keep them at bay. Keep them as far as you can from the Russian people, and get the truth known about truly what United States of America stands for. This is the type of democracy that Zionist democracy is about 100 times worse than what Soviet Union used to be. I'm just gonna give one more advice to opposition that is much more credible, that is much more believable, that have much more credibility than the criminal like this that you see here, and the Zio criminal. I am specifically, when I said real opposition, when I stated real opposition, I am referring to, let's say, Alexander Navalny. I always liked him for his views. I always did. He is Russian. And I'm just going to give you advice, because myself and yourself, Alexander, we were actually categorized, we were actually placed into the same category as this con man or Nemtsev, okay? Totally same category. Look, if I scroll down here, and you're gonna see the people, you're gonna see yourself right here next to these criminals here. And this is not the company you want to be in, especially when enemy is at the front gate and is trying to take your country down. Alexander, if you get to see this video, okay, my suggestion to you is for you to express patriotism, because when bullets are flying, okay, when your country is at war, There is no such thing as opposition. Okay, everybody under the war, in war, when war takes place, everybody must be as one. And that's when it becomes evident more than ever, under any other circumstances, who truly is what. And like I said, when war situation takes place, like the situation is right now throughout the Europe, throughout the Western and Eastern Europe, you should consider to consult, to create coalition with Vladimir Putin. You are Russian, you stand for Russian people, support people that support your people, be a patriot, show the middle finger to the Zionist-owned United States of America, United Nations, and other forces that are out there to take your country down, your people down. Thanks for watching this video. Today again is April the 30th, 2017, and we have just learned a little more about so-called opposition in Russia, Belarus, and other countries as well.